This is really exciting. We have so many different CEOs and executives from the community involved.
So grateful for our community who has stepped up. The partnership that we have with Vistra and the school district to bring this initiative has been incredible, and very thankful that we have that partnership. I hope that CEOs walk away knowing that our schools are doing all that they can for our students, and recognizing how important it is to advocate for education.
Be able to walk our hallways, interact with our community members, interact with our students and our teachers, really to identify, what's working, what's not, and what we can do differently and how we can help. It's just a great opportunity. How, and when we identify gaps, how we can work in concert in order to fill and plug those gaps. So, just be a champion of education, but at the same token being a problem solver to be able to help us continue to improve the experiences for children.
And it's just been amazing to me how active they've been and how much they're bringing to the table and how much they're learning about what's going on, and the partnerships they're building with the principals and with the schools and with the teachers. Those are valuable relationships. I hope they're really understanding more of the challenges that it takes today in public education, and that they find ways to get more involved.
To be able to shadow our principals, to understand the overarching dynamics that they go through every single day. We often hear about the great things that happen in our schools, the challenges that we experience, and at the same token being able to look at areas of opportunities. How do we collectively work to be able to help them not only be successful inside the classrooms, but outside of the classrooms as well, and be civic leaders.
Having community partners, I truly believe we can make a difference. So CEOs in schools is about one day of change, but I hope it is about several days of interaction and support, so that we can bring not just change today, but sustainable change for our community. And hopefully helping make sure that our students and teachers have what they need to reach all the successes they can. Communities that support our schools will be stronger. Thank you all for being here. It is our 4th annual CEOs in School Kickoff Reception. I am the Hillsborough Education Foundation CEO, Kim Joel, and it is a privilege to once again be part of this impactful initiative in partnership with Vistra Communications and Hillsborough County Public Schools. This program is the vision of Vistra President and CEO Brian Butler and his wife Maureen, who are here with us today. And I cannot see anything, so Brian and Maureen, will you please raise your hand and let us give you a big round of applause for making this possible. Vistra has been a longtime supporter of Mort Elementary, prompting Brian to spend a day there learning about the ways our community can lift up our public schools to a higher level, and it inspired him to challenge fellow business leaders to do the same. And that is how we began CEOs in Schools. Research shows that communities that support our schools have better success rates. This program advances our mission of strengthening public education because our schools can't do it alone. We see the difference it makes when schools are supported by business leaders like all of you. Our schools are shaping tomorrow's community members, our future workforce, and leaders. We all have a vested interest in their success. So thank you for giving your time today and on November 4th to see, listen, and perhaps even do, if you are able to hang with the principals, do the things that our public school educators do, as well as their support staff and administrators and what they experience every day. I am confident you will gain a new perspective and an even deeper respect for the role our schools play in preparing students for academic and personal success. You'll also probably be a little exhausted. Make sure you wear flat shoes. And I want to give a special thank you to our elementary principals. We appreciate you sharing your time and your school with our community leaders. We're celebrating you this month, as some of you may not know, but it's National Principals Month. And we are grateful for all you do throughout the entire year. I also owe you an extra thank you because I know you were in a meeting all day with Addison Davis, and I know why the bar is running out of liquor early. So I do. Well, it's data. I heard a lot of data today. That's intense. It wasn't about you, Addison. So special thank you to our school board members who are here. We have Nadia Combs, that you'll hear from in a little bit, Shake Washington, if y'all will give waves, Lynn Gray, and Melissa Snively are with us. Oh, we also have who? Okay, that's right. Okay, thank you. I'd also like to take a moment, because today doesn't happen without the support of sponsors who make this program a huge success. Our longtime friend and champion for education, Vistra Communications, and Suncoast Credit Union are our visionary sponsors this year, as well as our leader sponsors, which are Walbridge and Florida Blue. And we appreciate all our media partners who help us spread the word about the program through their channels. Our corporate ambassadors, yes, please give them. We also have important ambassadors, our corporate ambassadors who share information about this incredible opportunity with business leaders in the community, as well as our individual ambassadors who are out there recruiting other senior execs to join us. I'm sure some of you have been recruited by these people, and we know there's a lot of you in the audience who have also talked about the positive experience you've had and shared it with other leaders, so thank you to all. We want you all to get the most out of this opportunity, and that is why this kickoff event was created. Hopefully, all of our principals and business leaders have been able to connect and talk a little bit about what the day or the experience will look like. If your paired partner isn't here today and you need their contact information or there has been some breakdown, we have a table outside. Please stop by there and let us know so we can work on that. Or if you have any questions at all, that's what our staff is here to help. Principals, if your CEO isn't here and you haven't been able or you haven't connected yet, please reach out to them, make it a priority so that we can make the best day possible for both you and them. All right, to give you a quick overview of what's to come, outside of hearing from some of our program participants from last school year, we also have some examples of what your day on November 4th could look like. How many of you new to this for this year? Show of hands. All right, thank you for doing this. Please, those that didn't raise their hand, ask them for advice too, but we hope to provide you with those materials and helping you create the best day. So we're here, that we have about a 30-minute-ish presentation. We have the room until 4:30, so please make use of the time and you continue the conversations after we get done presenting. Since the launch of this CEO in Schools, we've heard from principals and business leaders just how much each side benefits from this initiative. So I'd like to share a quick video with you from Anderson Elementary with Principal Lydia Sierra and her partner Ben Burgess, owner of Burgess Civil. They've been paired up for 4 years since the start of the program. So take a look at how they've grown their experience into a year-round relationship.
My mother is a retired educator, and so education and teaching was always real near and dear to my heart. And when I saw the opportunity to get involved with the local school, I couldn't pass it up.
Mr. Burgess picked my school a few years back, and ever since he has chosen to come to Anderson Elementary. From kindergarten to 5th grade, he's read to our kindergarten
The
students.
steamroller follows to crush the dirt down.
And in 5th grade, he's talked to them about the importance of going to school and being successful.
I had a teacher in high school who said, hey, you're pretty good at math and science. You might want to think about becoming an engineer.
Each year he comes to the Great American Teach-In and he brings his equipment and digs up our yard and then puts it back. Bus duty, principal's taxi. So we've developed a very nice relationship.
And I've got relationships with the principal and some of the other teachers here. And just being able to be a part of the community in this school has been really neat.
So excited to have our brand new marquee.
So the marquee was a project here at our school that our PTA raised funds for 4 or 5 years, and we were short a certain amount.
And Burgess Civil came in as our CEO of schools and made the difference so that we could bring our vision to life this year. And we are so excited and so appreciative.
Putting in some of my company's money to be able to sponsor the sign and put them over the top. And we were just grateful to be able to be involved and have a small piece of it. 1, 2, 3. Seeing the finished product today is my first time seeing it. It was really an unbelievable experience.
And we named it after him, and it's absolutely beautiful. I think if you develop a relationship, it's a win-win. He wanted to give back to our school, and we needed the help, and it was a win for Anderson Elementary.
If we can come in, add our expertise, add our networks, add the people that can come add value to these schools where they need lectural help, I've found it to be super valuable, super gratifying. Ultimately, I want students hopefully someday that go through this elementary school to think about my company as a place that can be a great place to work. I just have so much respect for the people that put the time and effort into helping us better the next generation of students coming up.
It's great that he is involved in our community and gives back to our school and making Anderson a better place for our students to learn.
And thank you so much for all you do for our school.
Absolutely.
They have a pretty amazing connection. That new sign is beautiful, and I love how, Mr. Burgess, you get down on that floor, getting comfortable with them on that carpet, talking to the kindergartners. Principal Sierra and Ben, Mr. Burgess, are in the audience with us today, so give everyone a wave, please. Thank you for all you've done and continue to do. While we really want you to enjoy your visit on November 4th, the ultimate goal is that the business leaders will come away from the experience both as an education advocate and inspired to develop an even deeper relationship like they've been able to do at Anderson Elementary. Thank you for sharing your story with us. So right now, it is my pleasure to introduce Congresswoman Kathy Castor, who is an amazing advocate for education. I don't need to tell any of you that. We know that the bloodline is very thick of that, but we thank you for always being our advocate, and thank you for being here since the very beginning and launching this program to share. So.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Kim, and everyone with the Education Foundation. Here we are in this diverse, dynamic community with the 7th largest school district in the country, with a superintendent in Addison Davis who's like the Energizer Bunny. I asked him if he could help maybe put some of his energy into my veins to keep me going, But I'm here to say thank you to all of the principals and all of the educators and the CEOs who make this community such a loving, kind place to live. This is a special place to live, and we've got to work together to keep it that way. And I can't help but think, I would like to share, I'm a little disappointed that we didn't eke out a win in the millage investment in Hillsborough County Public Schools in August. But we're not going to give up. And I think that is just a sign to the CEOs, the business community, all of us, that we've got to tap the entrepreneurial spirit that lives in this community and deliver for our students, deliver for our schools, deliver for our educators, and then get back onto the horse and move forward so that we are proving to people all across this community that we've got to do better for our students, our educators, teachers, and schools. And I'm confident that we will be able to get there. And this is a wonderful example of that. And I know that oftentimes we think about, boy, there's such great expertise the CEOs can bring to principals. But I had a message from one of the CEOs who participates and was asking if he was going to be here tonight, and he actually flipped it. He said actually he thought the value in CEOs in schools was the opportunity it gave to build empathy and understanding amongst business leaders across Hillsborough County. So I think everyone learns and grows from this. And the most important thing is that we are lifting up students, no matter their zip code, no matter what part of this large, diverse, dynamic county they live in, to ensure that every student has the opportunity to succeed in life. And for that, for all of your work in ensuring that happens, I'm grateful to all of you. So keep up the great work, and just know I'm here as your partner now and in the coming years, and my team is always here to help lift up our students and educators. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Congresswoman Castor, for sharing the impact of this program has and that it goes beyond the walls of the classroom. We truly appreciate your support. And I do appreciate you mentioning the referendum, although now I think I want to get a drink after that too, but it's very sad for us. So up next, one of our CEOs in School visionary sponsors, Suncoast Credit Union's Chief Risk Officer, Jackie Gilbert, who is also a new member to our board of directors, is proud to be a program participant this year and will be paired with Pride Elementary, which has been partnered with Suncoast for the past 4 years. So please join me in welcoming Jackie, one of our visionary sponsors.
All right, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, especially after a busy day for all of us. Gosh, I want to start with, I will not hold the candle to Gary Vee, and for those that know him and his entertainment with HR, but I will do my best. I am the Chief Risk Officer. My goal is to be a CEO. So what I will be bringing to the schools is that there's always an opportunity to learn and to grow no matter your age. So to start with, I wanted to make sure everybody knew a little bit about Suncoast Credit Union, and that we did start in 1934 with a group of educators that came together and says we need and we expect more from a financial standpoint. So that's when they developed Hillsborough County Teachers Education. So the credit union was founded on education, and we will thrive continuously to support education from Hillsborough all the way down to Lee County. Throughout the years, what we've also done is develop the Suncoast Foundation, and every time a member swipes their debit card or their credit card, a portion of those funds goes into this foundation. And to date, we have been able to donate $36 million for children's well-being, their emotional well-being, their health, and most important, education. So we continue to thrive to use the money that is given by educators and their support staff to help continue to support education for our children. You know, on behalf of Suncoast, we want to thank you for your time, especially the CEOs. We know how busy you are. It's chaotic organization right now, and to take a full day and even prep for attending these events, we know that that's money out of the pocket, and we appreciate you investing in the children and in our community. And, you know, the educators, God bless you all. I talk to my son often, who is a teacher, and he's the one that actually encouraged me to do this. He said, you got something to give back. I'm like, I'm in risk. I'm the no department. And, you know, who wants risk? And, but, you know, he's an educator. He teaches accounting and business management at Tampa Bay Tech. And he's like, you know, it teaches the children, you know, there's costs and benefits to everything that they do. And to thrive for everything that they want, there's always a benefit for it. So thank you so much for your time, your dedication to our students, and thank you for allowing me to be part of it. Thank you.
Next up, we're going to hear from our board chair, Nadia Combs, if you'll come up.
First and foremost, I just want to thank everyone for being here today. I have the unique experience that I was an educator. I started as a teacher, and then I've owned several businesses. So the reason that I ran for school board is because I really felt that I could give back. And I see all of you here, and I see that's why you're here. And first and foremost, I always think about the principals are really the heart of the school. And in order to really make sure that our students continue to thrive and continue to do well, we need to make sure that we connect with our business partnerships and our CEOs. We see over and over that our schools that have community partners, they're thriving. Just the other day, I was at West Tampa Elementary, where this beautiful mural was shown, and it was because of our CEOs in school, because of Ed, who came and partnered with West Tampa Elementary to make that possible. So I want to thank all of you to let you know that no matter what experience that you have on that day, it's going to help you grow and understand what we need in our schools. I often say this, that our students are 25% of the population, but 100% of the future. So one day, if we want our students to be sitting there as CEOs or as principals, then we need to go ahead and make sure that we put our time and our energy into those students. So please, I want to thank each of you for coming being here today. I want to thank all the administrators, because I say this over and over. Without you, we could not move the needle. We could not support students. We could not make sure that students are not only thriving academically, but socially, emotionally. So I want to thank all of you who are here today, and I look forward to all of you having a wonderful experience. And finally, I want to thank HEF and all our partnerships and the Butler family for having this vision, because here we are starting in 4 years, and look what's happened. Look at the growth, and look at the changes that are happening in our schools, and together we can continue to make this difference. Thank you, and I will now introduce our superintendent, Addison Davis.
Okay, sounds like everybody wants to talk about more data and systems today. This is why we got out at 2:30 and everybody's running at 2 o'clock trying to get to the car to get here, because we know that HEF, not Hillsborough County Public Schools, took care of that side of the room where I see everybody walking. Let me say it again. Not Hillsborough County Public Schools, but HEF. We thank you so very much, Kim. They want this every day. They've asked me, can every principal meeting be this, because they need it after a day with us. But you know what? Thank you for your leadership. And we know that this journey cannot be done in isolation with our hard work, our efforts, and our energy. You know, we have to talk about how we actively engage our community, have our community partners in the forefront, our business partners in the forefront, CEOs, educational advocates. And we thankful for this board who continues to be champions. And at the same time, in having local delegations such as Congresswoman Castor to be an awesome champion for education and this community, truly helps us work in collaboration to create these types of experiences. But this doesn't happen without an individual that had this vision. One, to be able to walk the hallways to a local school, to be able to actively engage and fill the voids and the gaps and the needs in our school district. And this is an individual that has continued to be a committed, person within our community that wants to make this a great experiences. And that's Mr. Brian Butler. Raise your hand, Brian. Thank you so very much for what you do every single day in Vistra. You know, this is the 4th year we've done it, and then now the partnership that you've had and transition to Kim and being that HEF is now in active, collaboration in this process. And this is why we have standing room only today, to have CEOs. And CEOs know that this process isn't only about getting you into our schools to write a check. It's so much more. It's an opportunity for you to see the hard work that goes into being an educator, the countless hours that are being put in, and the unique days that start from 6 a.m. and end at 6 p.m., some of you for 8 p.m. in the evenings. That every single day, though, that every leader comes and every teacher comes and support staff comes to be able to be that strong advocate for our children along the way. But this is about you to be that mentor, to be that volunteer, to be that tutor, to be an opportunity to read for students, all to be able to find solutions and be a part of the problem-solving process to allow us to accelerate Hillsborough every single day. And we thank you. And principals, don't let just this be a day. This could be a relationship that continues to give, a relationship that thrives and models for others within this community. So take advantage of it and leverage and lean on that CEO who's been so successful in your community that can be successful in your school. And this has been modeled within our school district in so many different, schools. West Tampa with Kevin, what he has done with his CEO and leadership. But also in our very own for the last 2 years at Palm River Elementary School with Principal Kelly McClooney, and at the same token having our president of Spectra Contract Flooring, which is Mr. Stephen Busby. They have been an exemplar in this process. So thank you for your leadership. Thank you for what you do. Let's bring these two up to talk about how this partnership continues to expand and how each of you can be champions of change every single day in Hillsborough County. Thank you so very much.
Start out, I want to thank Hillsborough County Education Foundation for putting this program together. Absolutely phenomenal. I've been so blessed to be a part of it all 4 years. Also want to thank Brian Butler. I'm going to assume you're kind of in the same space you were in a few minutes ago because I can't see out there, but appreciate you marketing this in our CEO Council of Tampa Bay and recruiting us. We never would have known about it, so it's, that was huge. You can never do this too many times, so let's give a hand to all the principals out there. I really appreciate everything you do. And an absolute special thank you to Principal McClooney. for letting me come in and be a part of your school, becoming a part of it. It's been a great journey, and it's going to continue. Ms. McClooney has some absolutely amazing news to share with y'all, and I don't want to steal her thunder, so really what I'm going to do is talk a little bit about my journey with them and how it's been. Many years ago, my kids were in elementary, well, not many years ago, I don't want to age myself, but a few years ago, a couple years ago, my kids were in elementary school, and they had the Great American Teach-In. Probably still do, and many of y'all have been a part of it. But what it is you go into the schools, the elementary schools for the day, and you tell them a little about what you do, drop a couple life knowledge lessons on them, and then you leave, and it's a great couple hours, hour, whatever it is. And when I signed up for CEOs in school, I thought this would be kind of the same thing. It'd be great. And boy, did I underestimate that. That was not it at all. The impact that it had on the school, and more importantly, the impact it had on me, was absolutely amazing to this day. So since we live in Tampa, which is the town of sports champions, and just about every conversation Ms. McLean and I have end up talking about football, whether it's college or pro, I am going to use a football analogy for my journey with the school. So when I started to be a fan of the Palm River Panthers team a few years ago, they had gone through some rough seasons, but they had just signed an amazing new head coach in Ms. McClooney. They had an absolutely great coaching staff. And so my thoughts as a fan was to support them, better understand the school, see where I could jump in and help. And you know what I saw is I saw the pieces were in place for a Super Bowl run. They were there. It just needed to be brought together. And so Ms. McClooney, through her leadership and through that of the entire staff and the students, worked hard and brought it together, and they won their Super Bowl. And once again, I'll let her talk about what that is, but at the end of the day, I see now every single one of them, from the students to the staff to Mr. McClooney, are absolute champions. And so I want to continue being a fan year after year. We're going to continue to do coat drives. We're going to continue to go in and do teacher appreciations, which we've got one the end of this month to celebrate, what she's going to talk to you about. We're going to continue to set objectives and understand what the school needs. And we're going to continue to just have fun with the school. And when I say we instead of me, I mean because I've gone and involved my employees. And that's one thing I wanted to ask y'all, is that day on November 4th is for you. But the whole year is the opportunity to involve your employees, which is a great thing. My employees absolutely love it. They look forward to it. They look forward to coming reading at Christmas time. They completely look forward to being involved. And they ask me, when's the next time we're going over there? When are we going to go over there and see the kids? And I think the kids feel the same way. So it's a great trade-off there. Now, one of the phenomenal things about the CEOs in school is, we as business leaders have learned a lot in business, and I think one of the things we can do is see how we can integrate that and work with the staff and see how we can take some of those lessons, that knowledge, and put it to place in the school. And there's been a good amount of that. I've met with the staff, I've met with Ms. McClooney, and we've gone through a bunch of things, but I will tell you that the biggest impact has been what they have done for me, not just as a person, but also as a leader of my company. I learned a lot of lessons that way. So as I start to look at everything and understand it, using the sports analogy again, is I am a diehard fan. And on that day, it's great to be November 4th, to be a fan of your school, but it's even better to be a year-round diehard fan. I can assure you, if you do that, you will not regret it at all. So with that, I will say, go Palm River Panthers, and I will turn it over to the greatest principal I've ever met, and I've seen a lot of them, and that's Ms. Kelly McClooney.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. Just first, thank you to Hillsborough Education Foundation for this amazing opportunity to have CEOs in our schools, and a special thank you to Mr. Stephen Busby, our champion CEO. From the beginning, there was an instant connection and a great partnership. With Mr. Busby's support of our teachers, students, and staff, we've been able to provide multiple incentives and opportunities to celebrate their hard work. Our partnership with Mr. Busby played an integral role in our staff and students and their continued success, and it has helped pave the way for us striving toward academic excellence. His part in this is also played where we took our school grade and we raised it 212 points, taking us from an F to a B. During the summer, as we received confirmation of our official school grade, I definitely remember thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I have to call Mr. Busby. He's gonna be so excited. And we definitely celebrated and screamed in the telephone with each other. Having a CEO in schools has not only been a huge benefit to my staff and students who got the experience and who continue to have the experience of having a real-life CEO, a role model, whose challenging work and dedication began from an internship, but it also has benefited me as a leader. Our discussions have positively impacted me and my efforts to incorporate your business ideals of servant leadership and employee empowerment. Mr. Busby has made a lasting impact on our staff and students, whether it be from the spontaneous staff breakfast, meetings with our academic teams to discuss our goals, or hosting our holiday coat drives. He's always been more than willing to lend a helping hand. Mr. Busby, during one of his visits, had the opportunity to speak with one of our most challenging students, principals, you know what I'm saying. We all have one. But Mr. Busby's interactions were so genuine and warm with his approach. While the whole time, I can't lie, I was standing back praying, saying, oh Lord. The interaction turned out to be very impactful, as you see on the screen. And for the remainder of the day, Steady B, as I affectionately call him, asked several times, was Mr. Busby joining the staff, and was he gonna come out every Friday? And he continues to ask until this day, when is Mr. Busby coming out again, Miss McClooney? And I say, he's coming, Steady. This is what having a CEO in schools is all about. I encourage all of you to maximize this wonderful opportunity in partnership with your CEO, as we all desire as principals to impact educational change and student achievement every day. I have to say, although he reps garnet and gold, and the house is divided, especially come that game after Thanksgiving, we do make an awesome team. Go Gators. But I want to say a huge thank you, and we love you, to our champion CEO, Mr. Stephen Busby.
Thank you, Stephen and Kelly. Congratulations on those grade gains. That's amazing, amazing. Really, round of applause for that again, because I don't know if you all really understand. CEOs, please ask that question in your tour there. And I'm really glad you were able to get past the rivalry to create such a winning partnership. So it starts with the one day, and then you see where the partnership takes you. To help set you up for success, I want to share a few resources. There's a document at each of the tables. This is something we put together. It was also emailed to you, but I know how emails are these days. But these printed copies are to help you plan that day. They're just ideas. And so what November 4th could look like. On the first side, you'll see sample agendas, giving you an idea of what your day could look like. You do know, make sure everybody knows that most elementary schools start at 7:40 a.m. Get there before parent line, please, if you want to get inside. So it's up to you, but that is their start time, and I can tell you greeting students is probably one of the highlights of the day. It can also be, you can see the students come in the mood that the teachers get to get in their classrooms. So on the other side, you will see that we have provided a list of sample activities to consider. Again, sample. You could meet with the school resource officer. You can work in the lunchroom. I think that's what Mr. Busby was doing. Read to students. Meet with teachers and administrators. At the top, there are 3 boxes that include sample topics. So these are some questions that CEOs could ask principals, as well as principals to ask their CEOs. We really want you to learn more about the challenges, opportunities, and strengths our schools have. And we hope that you will share some of your business knowledge. I'm going to pause there, and I need to have Brian and Maureen come up to the front, please. before we wrap up. Brian said, I don't need to speak, and I love Brian Butler. I love Maureen more, I think, because she's just as sweet. But Brian Butler is absolutely, these are the nicest people you will ever meet. And he said to me, I don't need to speak. Well, if you've seen Brian speak, I took him up on that because we have a timeline. But I do, where's your husband? You coming from different ways? How long y'all been married?
Hold on a second, I'm talking to Kim.
Again. So, but I need us to all please take in what these two people have done for us in setting this program up, because we would not be here today and some of our schools would not be in the position that they're in. I truly believe leadership and your teachers and your support staff absolutely got you there, but I know Mr. Busby played an important part in getting you to that B. So please give them a round of applause and appreciation. I'm so thankful for you. Thank you. And I know their daughter, Allison Chris, isn't here. Thank you for sharing your parents with us all the time. So, all right. So as we wrap up, a few important reminders. You'll be receiving emails coming up to the event. November 4th is that day. And remember, if that day doesn't work, certainly we encourage that day, but if you need to come up with an alternate day, just so this day happens, that's what we want. If you're interested in sharing your story with media, I assure you the district and my team is ready to go. Vistra would be ready to go. So please let us know and we'll do our best to coordinate. We will be putting out press releases on this. As of today, we have 11 schools that still need a CEO, and we've never been at this point that low of a number, and we're confident we'll fill those out. So the 11 principals who are here today who do not have your CEO assigned yet, trust us, we will get you a CEO. So those of you in the room, please talk to your colleagues so we can get them there. So thank you all for being here today. Thank you for your commitment to this program and being open, principals, for opening your doors. And I wish you the very best day on November 4th. So thank you. Enjoy the food. The bar's still open. And hang out and enjoy.